Hey folks, this is Bobby J. Gallo, and you may have noticed that I am not in my office studio that I normally use for the podcast, Creepy Conversations from the Castle. We are doing this live from the bowels of Castello Gallo. Yes, we are in the dungeon. Actually, the dungeon's over there, but we're close enough to the dungeon. Now, why are you watching this video? You're probably watching this video because you are now a proud owner of the Magic School Archives, a complete course of instruction in the magical arts. Yes, I had to read it. I only wrote it. It doesn't mean I remember it. Now, you're also watching this because you were directed to this video because you also purchased the box of what we call Wizard Wares. And I'm going to put the label right up to the camera there. As you can see, it says Wizard Wares. Now, it's important to note that you can own the Magic School Archives without the box of Wizard Wares, but you can't own the box of Wizard Wares without the Magic School Archives. Why? Because these are the instructions to what you get in the kit. There are no instructions in the kit. You need the book and for all of the paraphernalia that is in the box that I'm going to be explaining to you in detail in just a second. Now, just a little background as to why I'm doing this. This book, all the material in this book was actually written over 2 decades ago. And back then when I wrote the book, all of the props that I describe in the book were readily available, that you can get them just about anywhere. But today, many of those things are now lost to time. You can't find them anymore. So what I did is I went on a search not only all over the internet, but through my own personal stash. Things that I have actually held on to for many, many years, so that I can give you the proper tools to do some of the key routines in the Magic School Archives. Now, I also want to say that we're really not making a lot of money on these kits. We're pretty much selling them for what it costs us to make them, but we're doing it as a service to you, those who bought the Magic School Archives. Now, if you want to buy this for because you think the stuff looks pretty neat, hey, you know, more power to you. We're more than willing to offer it to you, but we do recommend that you use this as an adjunct to the book, The Magic School Archives. Now, the Magic School Archives is available 2 places right now. It is available on barnesandnoble.com, and it's also available on our website, wickhaven.net. And as you can see behind me, I am actually in the Candle Lab for wickhaven.net. That's right. So we're going to put this away for now. We're going to put it over here, and we're going to get the box of Wizard Wares. Now, the one thing you might have noticed is that it doesn't have it's already open. It doesn't have the ribbon that's tied around the edge that keeps the box closed. So I didn't want to fiddle with that during the video, so I removed that prior to this taping, which is why the box is moving around a little bit. Now, if you open it up, you're going to see everything that's inside, and I'm going to display that right now. I'm going to go through this piece by piece so that you know exactly what's in here. The first thing that you're going to notice when you do open up the box is you're going to get this is a card, and it says Wizardware Contents and Where to Find the Spells. It's got a little whimsical skeleton on it, and it has all of the props that's in the box and the corresponding pages where you're going to find the routine in the Magic School Archives. So this is very, very important, but it's not enough. That's why this video is being created, so that I can describe the contents to you. This is kind of a primer and a walkthrough of the contents of the kit. You're also going to find a piece of Bobby J. Gallo memorabilia. This is a genuine piece of memorabilia that I was using during my college tours in the late 80s and early 90s. They're very rare, and I wanted to put it in there because the book was written around the same time I was using this memorabilia. So it's kind of like a connection, if you will, and it's a little piece of collectability, Bobby J. Gallo memorabilia, and they may vary from box to box. This is a table tent that I used to use for my college shows, so I'm just going to put that right there. It actually looks really nice. Don't you think so? I do too. Thank you. Okay, so now, you're also going to notice there's going to be a scroll in the box, but I have taken this from the shape of a scroll, and so that you can see exactly what they are. These are actual Chinese fortunes, and they're going to be used with the prop that just fell out of the box moments before, and it is the Box of Prophecy. That is going to be in the Magic School Archives book. Now, this is the one routine in the book that's really not magic, but it is very entertaining, and it uses mysterious looking props that I think your audience is going to love. Now, in the book, you're going to notice when you open up the box, there's going to be all little rolled up Chinese fortunes in there, and that's what these are. You get a number of pages, and I recommend that you take these pages and you make some copies of them, okay? Don't just cut them up as soon as you find them. Go and make some copies of them, and this way you'll have them for years to come. You'll never run out of them. So you're going to get the box. You're going to get the Chinese fortunes. Now, two other things are needed for this routine that are in the box. You're going to find a small little plastic bag of rubber bands. And what these are for is to keep the Chinese fortunes rolled in a small little scrolls so that you can put them in the box. And you're also going to find a mini magic wand. Now, the mini magic wand is used for the Box of Prophecy routine. Now, there are just dozens and dozens and dozens of routines in the Magic School Archives. Why did I include the Box of Prophecy if it's not really magic per se? Well, it's because it's one of my favorite routines. And there was a routine donated by the well-known magician who was a contributor to MUM magazine for years and years, Ron Dayton. He contributed a wonderful routine for the Box of Prophecy. That is in the book. And it brings me back to my childhood when I had one of these. So, and the thing about the Box of Prophecy is when you read it in the book, you want to use it, you want to do it, but where are you going to find the box, the right size box? Where are you going to find the Chinese fortunes, the little rubber bands? I mean, unless you wear braces, you don't even have them. You can't find them. The right size little magic wand. You can't find any of that stuff. So I did all the legwork for you guys so that when you find that routine in the book, you can actually do it. And honestly, these little boxes we found are literally nicer than the ones I had when I was a child. But the routine was written about 20 years ago, and it's in the book. My routine, Ron Dayton routine, Box of Prophecy, okay? And that's what those props are for. And they are actually on page, there we go, 298 in the Magic School Archives. The next thing you're going to find in the kit are two contrasting color decks of playing cards. And this is for my signature routine, You Do As I Do. And you know, that's French for goodbye, which is all part of the trick. Now, this story has a fascinating, well, I should say this routine has a fascinating story behind it, which I'm not going to go into here. But I do want to mention one thing. You might be looking at these decks of cards and saying, Bobby, these aren't bicycle decks of cards. Well, the reason these are not bicycle decks of cards is, once again, we're trying to keep the cost of the kit down. And if I were to put two decks of bicycle cards in here, you'd be paying $20 for two decks of cards in a box. So we used inexpensive decks of cards, which will work just as well for the routine. And these are not just for that routine. This is for any other routine in the book that calls for the use of playing cards. Except for one, which is the X-ray deck routine, which calls for a special deck of cards, which I was unable to source. You might be able to find them, and if you can, go for it. But right now, two of these decks of cards will do 99.9% of all of the routines in the Magic School Archive. So they're going to suffice just fine for most people getting the kit and getting the book. The next thing you're going to find is a length of, it looks just like regular yarn. And in fact, it is. However, I had to find the right thickness yarn, the right color yarn to do the 2-to-1 rope routine that is in the Magic School archives. It has to be just right or the routine doesn't work, folks. And, you know, I'm still a professional. I'm not a full-time professional anymore. Almost made a mistake there. I'm still a professional, was a full-time professional for 15 years, but I still get paid over $200 an hour to do magic when I do it. And this is one of the routines that I actually do in my show. I do a 2-to-1 rope routine in my show. So this is an example of a real professional routine that you can do that I actually make money with. And guess what? You do as I do with the 2 contrasting color decks of cards. I do that in my show as well. And I do this one. In the book, it's called Little Yellow Squishy Things. However, I could not find yellow sponge balls. So we're going to use red sponge balls, which work just as well. In fact, in my show today, I'm using orange sponge balls. So it doesn't really matter what color you use. But these are professional grade magician sponge balls to do little yellow squishy things. Once again, one of the world's best sponge ball routines that I use professionally in every show where I get paid over $200 an hour. And that's right, folks. Why am I saying that? Because you could do it too. All you need is the Magic School archives and the box, okay? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the deal that we're offering at the end of this video. Now, what else is in here? You're going to see little red sponge rabbits. This is for my routine called Peter Explained. Now, every magician out there is going to tell you that they have the world's greatest close-up trick. Folks, I'm telling you right now, I didn't invent it. I invented the handling that's in the Magic School archives, but I didn't invent the concept. The concept of the multiplying rabbit trick is the world's strongest close-up trick, bar none. It's the absolute best. There is nothing stronger. If you're doing close-up magic, this should always be your last trick because there's nothing stronger than this. You can't follow it. But the problem is many people botch this trick, and the rudimentary instructions you get with them, if you buy these separately, they're never good enough. So when I had the International Conservatory of Magic, which is the website that all of this magic is based on, the International Conservatory of Magic, it used to be magicschool.com until we sold that domain name. This was one of the routines I put on there to show people how to do this trick professionally. So it's Peter Explained. It's in the Magic School archives. You'll learn how to do it the right way, and you'll blow your audience away every time. Again, when I'm doing walk around and strolling magic, I do this trick professionally. So you can do it too. It's taught step by step in this book. So yeah, I mean, I didn't think I mentioned that yet. You know, the International Conservatory of Magic, which was the world's largest website for magicians, over 2,000 pages of original magic that I assembled. This book is all based upon that. So now that the website is no longer on the internet, it's gone. We closed the doors forever. It's all right here. At least all my material is right here from the website. And that's why I assembled this book. And that's another reason why we had the kit. Because again, written 20 years ago, you couldn't get the props then. So now you have the props in the box. Okay. Finally, two more things. Okay, I'm going to do this one next. Okay, you're going to take this out, and the first thing you're going to say, Bobby, you gave me a cheap plastic magic wand. Yes and no. Yes, it's an inexpensive plastic magic wand, but it is the exact length, weight, and material to do a routine inside of the book entitled The Oldest Dog of Them All. It's a routine where you can make the wand cling to your hand magically without anything whatsoever other than your hand in the wand. And it's kind of like a gag trick. At first you let them in on the secret, and then the wand ends up clinging magically to your hand with no support whatsoever, and it knocks people out. This is great for kid shows. But in order to do it, you need the exact correct type of wand. So I actually ordered the small ones first. These actually don't work that well for it, but we're using them for Box of Prophecy. But then I got these, and these work perfectly, and they were not easy to find, folks. So you get the correct magic wand to do a very professional routine with that wand. Finally, you're going to find a small plastic baggie with a number of things in it. The first thing you're going to see are some bounce balls, high bounce balls. You know, when I was a kid, you can go into any store with a dime and put it into one of those little gumball machines, and they would always spit out one of these balls if that's what you wanted. And they used to be everywhere, so they were easy to find. Believe it or not, they're not that easy to find anymore. Notwithstanding the fact that if you do find one, try to get 4 the same color. Now, you need the same color balls in order to do the bounce ball matrix that's in the Magic School Archives by yours truly, Bobby J. Gallo. And basically it works like this. There's a number of balls on your table, and as you cover them with your hand, they migrate magically from one hand to the other, and at the very end, they all vanish. In order to do it, you need the correct size high bounce balls. They have to be high bounce balls. They have to be rubber. And I think these ones may even glow in the dark, which is even cooler, so you can do it with the lights out. You're also going to find little plastic skeleton hands. This is another thing that you can't find anymore. When I was a kid and I wanted to buy a magic catalog, I would go on the back of Boy's Life magazine. And for all of the magic catalogs, they would say, 25 cents and get a free gift. Watch a skeleton crawl out of your pocket. And when you got it, I couldn't get my quarter in the envelope fast enough, folks, and 5 weeks later, that's how long it took to get. Forget Amazon today where you get things overnight. Back then, it took 5 weeks to get something. We get the catalog with 1 pair of these skeleton hands. Now, the thing about these skeleton hands are, I use them in a routine that I call something out of almost nothing. Okay, so basically I do them in a routine, and again, it's such a focal point in the book that I felt really bad if the person buying the book wasn't able to have these to do the routine, because you truly can't find them anymore. I don't think they're made anymore. However, I had a stash of them in the dungeon of Castello Gallo, a substantial quantity of them. So I said, okay, I'm going to put these in the box. So you get about half a dozen of these in case you lose one. But okay, something out of almost nothing. The only thing is you're not going to be able to give them away like I suggest in the book, because there's just not enough of them. But you could always figure out an alternate ending of the routine. But the crux of the routine, the heart of the routine, you could still do with the little skeleton hands. The very last thing you get in the box of wizard wares are little plastic bat rings. And at first, people, if you didn't watch this video and you saw this, you would say, "What is this?" Believe it or not, it's another thing that you can't get anymore, because the rings have solid finger rings. There's solid finger rings on the bat ring. They're not open like is common today when you get little children's plastic rings, because they don't want them to get stuck on kids' fingers. But if you don't have solid rings, you can't do the routines in the book. So once again, these little bat rings, you can't find these anymore. And if you don't have these exact rings, there's at least 4 routines in the book that use these, and they're mind-blowing routines. One is a linking finger ring routine for kids. One is a ring off string that you could do for kids or adults. One is a ring flight that you could do for family shows. And one is the jumping bat, which uses the theme of the bat on the ring. So once again, I give you about half a dozen of these in the package with the kit. You cannot get these anywhere. You cannot get the skeleton hands anywhere. It's very hard to find the high bounce balls. It's very hard to find the correct magic wand. I doubt you're going to find the box for the box of prophecy. Very hard to find the Chinese fortunes. Very hard to find the correct yarn. By the way, these professional sponge balls, you buy these on your own, they're at least $6. This whole kit is only $20, okay? These multiplying rabbits, at least $6. So these two together are like 12 bucks. And the whole kit is only $20. So as you can see, I'm not making any money on this stuff. So I'm going to put all this back, folks. I'm going to put this back once again, just like this, the way it, you'll find it when you open this up. And you know what, folks? When I was a kid, I can't even tell you what I would have done for a kit like this. This kit, this is a dream for any budding magician. It really is. And even if you're not a budding magician and you're just curious, hey, why not, right? So here we go. We're going to put all of this in there, and I'm going to tilt this up a little bit. There we go. Can we see it? That is the box of wizard wares. Everything's going to be packed in there nice, though. So don't worry. So we're going to take that. I'm going to show you none official without that sticker right there. Okay, folks. Now, we are at 21 minutes on this, so we're going to wrap it up. Oh, I forgot to put the official Bobby Gallo memorabilia in there. Now, oh, there is one other place you might be able to find this. Now, a couple places you could find this. The primary way is through our website, wickhaven.net. That's wickhaven.net. Wickhaven Candles and Oddities. This would be an oddity, folks, okay? And we do have a special going right now. This is normally $18.95, this book, the softcover version, and the box is normally $20. So what we're going to do for anybody who is interested, we are going to do it on the website. It's going to be $32 plus shipping, and if you see us live at a show, it'll be $32. Okay, so that's it, folks. The Magic School Archives by Bobby J. Gallo. You could own this book and do most of the magic without the kit. But if you buy the kit, you got to have the book. All right? So we're going to leave it there. I hope you enjoy this explanation video. This is Bobby J. Gallo, and you could be a wizard too.